welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the unpopular opinions book tag, and retrospectively it's kind of ridiculous that I haven't done this tag sooner because I feel like I'm kind of the queen of unpopular opinions when it comes to a lot of very beloved like YA novels specifically. If you follow my channel for a while, you probably know like I've done like so many rants on books that everybody else seemed to have like really loved, and I was like, this is complete garbage in my opinion at least. So I don't honestly know why I waited this long, but today it's finally here, and this tag consists of 8 questions, and I'm kind of going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to pick 2 books for like each of the questions basically, and I'm gonna go with like a young adult and an adult answer, just because I don't want to just be reiterating what you guys already know all the time. So yeah, also I feel like this should be separate because nothing is as bad as a bad YA book, and I kind of just want this video to be a bit more like well-rounded, so we're gonna go with 2 answers. The first question is, what is a popular book that you hated? And I want you guys to pause this video and type in the comments what you think it is, because you know. Also, I'm already breaking my rules for this because I think it is so obvious, and I have to like choose something that's not as obvious so that this is gonna be interesting. So I'm gonna count this as like honorable mentions, the 2 that I have done like huge rants about, and the first one is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas and Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Both of these are so shit. I hated each of them with a burning passion, and I did videos on them, so I'll link them down below if you want to go check them out. I even did a little sketch for this one. That's how emblazoned the fire of my rage was over this. Seriously guys, what is this garbage? But those are, you know, old news because I've talked about them so many times. So for the actual answer, I'm going with The Magicians by Lev Grossman for the kind of young adult answer. I also did a rant on this like way back, so also link that down below, but I don't think I've you know, hated on this as passionately as the other 2. For the adult, I'm going with The Vegetarian by Han Kang. I honestly didn't get what the hype was about over this book. I probably didn't understand it. That's probably the reason. I still didn't get it. I don't think it was a good book, so yeah. Question number 2, an unpopular book that you loved. That was a little bit harder because I tend to kind of check reviews obviously and like other people's opinions on books, so if there's like an overwhelming amount of like dislike out there, I won't even get near it in the first place because I don't want to risk it. So for this answer, I'm choosing just one, and that's Not That Kind of Girl by Lena Dunham. I know there was a lot of controversy about this book. I honestly don't get why. Not to get into that whole thing too much, but I thought this book was funny. I thought Lena Dunham was really funny, even though she's a little bit like one of those kind of aggressive feminists. But you know, the book was still really good, and I really thought it was well written, enjoyable read, and I don't see why we have to make such a big deal about like a little thing that she wrote in there. So question number 3 is either an OTP you don't like or a love triangle where the protagonist ended up with the person you didn't want. For this, I can't choose an adult one because I don't think I know any adult books where there's a love triangle or like an OTP. It's not really a thing in like a good adult novel. So instead I'm choosing 2 young adult because I also really can't decide. They're pretty much tied. So the first one is Alison Goodman, The 2 Pearls of Wisdom. I guess the second one I should say, because that's where she ends up with like the prince dude, and I really wanted her, it's not really a love triangle, but I really wanted her to end up with Lord Sethin, the evil guy. They have like one moment of kind of sexual tension, I guess, and I was like, yay, let the 2 of them be together. Like I often root for the evil guy, where I always feel like I just want one protagonist to be like corrupted by that and like drawn in and infatuated, and it never happens. So definitely in this book. And kind of very similar to that, Shadow and Bone. If you guys, oh my god, I did a rant on this because book 3 ended in such a shitty way, and honestly, what happened to the Darkling? What happened to him? He was the ultimate love interest. He would have been amazing. I wanted her to end up with him so bad and to be corrupted by him. But obviously it doesn't happen. So, you know, I'm sad, and I think that should definitely have happened differently. Question number 4 is a popular book genre that you hardly reach for. And for this, I'm going with new adult because I literally read like maybe 1.5 new adult novels, and I just like don't get them. Like from what I've heard, it seems like they're all very samey and have like very similar themes and often like problematic themes, and they're kind of like young adult but just with like more sexual notions, I guess. I don't even know, like that does not sound like a good combination at all. You know, like all the problematic love stuff happening in YA already, then just like coupled with like actual sex is like maybe not. I don't know, I'm not saying all new adult books are like that, but that's just what I've heard, so I don't really like to read that. People are going to kill me for this answer, I already know. This question is a popular and beloved book character that you really don't like, and I have to choose Ron Weasley for this, or actually all of the Weasleys. I don't get what people see in them, especially like Fred and George. What is so great about them? I don't understand. When I was reading this book, I never paid much attention to them. I always like cared more about Harry and Hermione. I thought Ron was kind of like always the idiot guy that didn't like matter. I know there's gonna be a wave of unsubscribes just because of that answer, but it's true. Like, I honestly don't care for the Weasleys. I'm saying it, putting myself out there and saying it, but don't see their appeal. Number 6, a popular author that you can't seem to get into, and for that, kind of in line with earlier, I am going with the young adult version. On the young new adult version is Colleen Hoover. She's like written 1 million books. I've read like 1 short story or something by her, and is like, that's so basic and like not that interesting, so Colleen Hoover. And for adult, I'm going with Neil Gaiman. I have read like 2 books by him, and I thought actually Neverwhere was not that bad, but The Ocean at the End of the Lane was kind of like meh, and kind of the overall impression that I get from his writing is that it's just not really like up my alley somehow, and I just can't see this like huge appeal that he has to some people. Number 7, a popular book trope you're tired of seeing. There's no end to the answers of this question because all like overused book tropes I am tired of seeing. Literally all of them, every single one. Just tell me one and I think it should go, because I hate repetition like that. Like, why can't you just come up with something somewhat original? Is it so hard? But we have to choose something, and so for young adult I am choosing love triangles, because who is not sick of love triangles at this point? Seriously. And for the adult, I'm choosing something that's maybe not specifically a book trope, but something I've noticed all the time, and that is stupid decision making for the sake of tension and problems. Yes, Second Life by S.J. Watson, that was sort of a swipe at you, because the main character just makes so many stupid decisions that are completely unnecessary. Like, honestly, I love tension in books and like drama happening and bad stuff, because that's what makes them interesting. But the reason for that cannot simply be that the main character has zero common sense and makes stupid decisions. Like, that is such an easy way out of like a cheap way to kind of create those problems. I'm so sick of seeing that. Number 8, a popular book series that you have no interest in reading. For young adults, I'm going with Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Never saw the appeal. Some people literally would jump off a cliff for that series. I don't get it. Honestly, don't. Like, it doesn't sound that cool. And I don't really have an adult series I have no interest in reading. I can't think of one, so just the one answer. Number 9 is about a movie and TV show adaptations. So what TV show / movie adaptation do you prefer over the book? And that was also kind of a difficult question. And for this, I'm gonna go with Lord of the Rings. I did think that the books were good and I read them, but they're just so lengthy and there's so much unnecessary description, and that is still a part of the movies too, but at least it's over so much sooner, and they had like necessarily to take out some stuff at the very least, and the books are just so drawn out. Honestly, there was no reason for that entire story to be 3 books in the first place. So that's it for the book tag of unpopular opinions. I hope that you're still subscribed to my channel and that you don't hate me now. Let me know what your most prominent unpopular opinion of any kind is, because I think it's always interesting to like hear people's opinions that don't follow the masses. Not that it's a bad thing to follow the masses if your opinion coincides with that, but to like actively try and fit in like your own opinions like that, I don't think that makes much sense. So it's definitely more interesting, and I love watching people do this tag. So if you do it, please tweet it to me, and I really want to watch it. And if you don't have a YouTube channel, you can also leave your answers down below, because I want to know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna see you soon. Have a lovely week. Bye!